Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to IAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because Robert Kiyosaki said that this is the beginning of a civil war. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. Robert Kiyosaki, best known for his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's been on the bestseller list for decades. So he's clearly done something right when he's talked about finances and stuff. And he's called crash after crash after crash. And I have people that laugh about this, but now he just says, this is going to be the summer of civil war. And that is crazy, guys. That's wild to think about. He says that everybody, you can read the article, everybody should get into Bitcoin, gold, and silver, which we've talked about. I'm not really a Bitcoin kind of guy, but you should get into this and take this guy's advice. But what he's talking about is how the financial system is completely destroyed right now. And you're going to see problems with the banks that you've never seen in the past, and that the end of fiat currency is coming soon. But this is going to be exacerbated by the violence that we're seeing in some of the, how it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, as I walk through Seal Beach, one thing that we're concerned about is this weekend with all the different groups that are getting together. We talked about this in the private channel. This is getting nuts, guys. It really is, because, you have certain cities that would never tolerate, violence and things like that. But then you have some cities that's just going on and on and on. And the other night I came home from the Angel game and was blown away that the next city over had, big groups of people. The cops had, gone on arm to arm and are trying to, protect these downtown merchants. Now think about this. Santa Ana, California has all these old downtown businesses. And one thing that these people have suffered basically the last 5 years is construction for a rail system. And they're going to build one of those cool trolley trains throughout downtown Santa Ana. And through the redevelopment project, it's finally done, basically. It's time to announce it and get it going. And then you have violence and things like that and large groups protesting. This is horrible. Again, you can get together and wave your flags and protest and vote for whoever you want to. I'm all for that. It's when things get violent that it's out of control. And that's what Mr. Kiyosaki's talking about, because this is getting worse and worse and worse. And there is no plan, to slow it down. And I just wish, and I'm telling you guys, do not go out right now and do anything that could put yourself in danger. Do not go out. If you can go out, if you have to go out by yourself, be very, very careful. Try not to get out of your car. Try not to park any place that's dangerous. Try not to fill up for gas or charge your vehicle in a place that is bad right now. Just don't do it, man. Don't do it. Now, people have to work. You've got to get from A to B, and I get all that stuff. But man, oh man, they are just doing things and throwing things and breaking things, and it is just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's what Mr. Kiyosaki's talking about right now. So, add that, and you're going to see nothing but problems. Business is doing bad right now. Sling and Dish right now missed a major bond payment last month, and which was for over $216 million. And not only did they miss the latest payment, but they also said they're not going to make the June payment. So 2 weeks ago, we're not going to make the payment. So listen, they've got a 30-day grace period. You need to hold your horses. But I'm telling you, if you guys have Dish or Sling TV, I would be worried. I would contact them and say, what happens if you guys file bankruptcy? Because, the last thing you want is not to be able to get news, your favorite programs, your shows, everything that's, everything that's important to you, whether it's sports, movies, news, whatever. This stuff is, they're having a real problem. Read the article below, because they're in dire straits right now. They really, really are. So it's another massive cyber attack. Whole Foods got nailed with a cyber attack, and so Whole Foods steps forward yesterday and says, hey, listen, not only are we, did we get hit with a cyber attack, but we're going to have bare shelves in the next couple of weeks. So you're going to see Whole Foods, if there's certain brands that you like to stock up on, they affected the computers and completely destroyed inventory, supply chain, getting things to stores, and basically shut these people down. So just a matter of time, guys, until this affects our food system and, everything else. So you can't argue with this stuff. This is happening. A very, very close friend of mine who I'm going to work with in my next business, and she's brilliant. Her boyfriend works for a company, and they said, please, Dan, don't say the name of the company. They got hit with a cyber attack, and the cyber attack has destroyed the business to where they couldn't pay vendors, couldn't deliver to vendors, couldn't do anything, and they're going on week 2 right now, and they're finally getting the system back up. But what did they do? They didn't elect to do a Cellcom and tell everybody how bad it was. They elected just to be quiet and not answer anything and act like business was normal, even though nothing got delivered. They couldn't pay their bills. They couldn't ship anything. They couldn't have inventory brought in, couldn't do anything. We'll just work on it. Okay? So there's management from 25 years ago for you. Spare our head in the sand. This will all work out. And you know what? It doesn't work out when you do this. Disney is paying an additional $438.7 million for Hulu. And again, reason enough, number 2, not to buy Hulu is Disney's purchasing. So again, is that, do you like that? I can't stand Disney right now. Can't stand it at all. And everything, guys, nothing is free anymore. Everything is a pay channel. When Hulu first came out, 15 years ago, it was a free service. And the best thing was, let's say you had a show on NBC or ABC and you forgot to tape it, or you weren't home, or, you could go the next day and watch it for free on Hulu. And you'd have ads and things like that, but it's just not there anymore. So California has a new rule that goes into effect immediately. So you know how you have your cell phone and you have it and you can navigate things when you're driving. Now that's a crime. If you touch your cell phone in the process of driving, you can get a ticket for that. And the cops are just looking at people to do this. So it's a matter of time, guys, until they start giving tickets for things like that. And it's made it so it's just absolutely destroyed Ubers, Uber Eats, things like this. And they're talking about, hey, I'm going to get tickets because, my uncle and I were talking about the Thomas guide. Remember the Mapbooks? Here in Southern California, these things were great. But when we would go to deliver to clients and you'd go make sales calls and things like that, we had basically a map book. And you'd look up their address, Wilson Way. Okay, go to page 24D7, and you'd look on the grid, and that's where they were at. And then you would drive there, and there was no GPS in your car or anything like that, or on your phone for that matter. So how we didn't run into anybody and kill anybody is beyond me. But that's a huge problem. There is a TikTok influencer, Amanda Ivanelli, and I couldn't get approval to show her video, but I'll tell you what she did. She does fitness, fashion, stuff like that. Really an attractive gal that goes out and buys things. And there was a website called Azos. It's a kind of a woman's site. It's got a lot of different merchandise and things like that. Super windy on the pier, so I'm going to walk away from that. But and she ordered a bunch of dresses from a company called Azos. Got them here, like 15 dresses. Realized after she got the dresses here, she only kept one. She says maybe 2. It was so forgettable. This was really a great way to recommend a shopping site. But then sends them back. A couple days later, what does she get? A $1,436 bill from FedEx. And she's like, what is this, tariffs, taxes? What is this? So when you guys order this stuff, make sure that's the end of it. Now, again, I'll never order from Azos again. And again, I'm not a fashion guy, so I don't really know anything about Azos and never heard of it before. 2 things with banking that are wild right now. This went completely under the radar. Businesses that do large transactions can basically do $1 million of transactions and do global transfer back and forth. And it's fine. a large business can do that and not have any restrictions put upon it. Well, guess what? This got raised in February, and none of us do this. It just got announced this week, that it went from $1 to $10 million. So you can now do $10 million transfers from business to business and through Bank of America, which is wild, guys, when you think about that. People don't sit there and you don't have $10 million, but the idea with this is certain things and certain restrictions that affect all of us don't affect certain people. And this is exactly one of them right there. Now, millions of people have had their credit lines destroyed. I mean, now millions of people have had their credit scores absolutely destroyed in the last 30 days. And that is because the federal government has started to report on the student loan non-payments. And because of those lack of payments, people that are not paying their bills are dramatically, affected by this. Guys, I've talked about this for 3 months now. If you have a credit problem, I'm telling you, if you owe somebody money, call and work it out. Do everything you can to work it out and not bury your head in the sand. This credit debacle that you guys are experiencing right now because you didn't pay your student loan debt, this is only going to get worse. You're going to lose your ability to get decent loans. That's going to destroy your credit. You try to rent a house or buy anything, it's going to absolutely affect each and every one of you out there that have this. And they're saying that they're dropping sometimes hundreds of points, but it's making a huge difference and taking people into, quote, delinquency. So it's sad, guys. It's absolutely sad. It's a little bit more to cover. I'm going to finish this one with this last segment. Please be safe, guys. Please be careful. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's just troubling right now with everything that's going on. Don't forget that we have a private channel where we can talk about everything uncensored that we can't talk about other places, called IAllegedly Live. You sign up at IAllegedly.tv, use the link below. Couple cool things. Andrew Doe was a county supervisor in this county of Orange. And during COVID, that guy used COVID money like it was his little ATM machine. Bought houses, bought all this stuff, bought gifts, just went travel, just used, again, pandemic money to rich himself and at our expense. He just got 5 years in jail a couple of days ago. He got sentenced. So that's good news. I always love when these people get caught and get exposed. So that's nice. Google, their hardware and platforms department, that make phones and hardware and cloud and things like that, they're offering buyouts to their employees. And the employees are saying, hey, this is great. There's 25,000 people that work in this department. So they're offering all these people, do you want to leave? Take the money. And again, I'm telling you, right now they're being praised because people are saying, wait a second, I'd rather take the money and get out of here than be fired and get, a week severance package. So final thing, and that this is unbelievable. I thought it was a joke when it was sent to me. South Dakota has just raised its speed limit. Okay, guess what it is now? Oh, it's got to be 70, Dan. It's got to go crazy. No, it's 80 miles an hour, guys. 80 miles an hour. Isn't that nuts? South Dakota, let's go 80. Let's drive 80. 80 miles an hour. I mean, that's fantastic. I'm telling you, you rip across the desert, you drive 80, it's great to get to Vegas. But the problem with it is there's so much enforcement that they're arresting people and they're writing you a ticket and everything like that. Their excuse for this is, Montana and North Dakota have 80 miles an hour, and we don't want people to cross over state lines and be confused about the speed limit. So we want them just to be able to speed right through our state, 80 miles an hour. Isn't that wild? So Montana and the Dakotas, enjoy. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get a hold of me, it's hello@IAllegedly.com. Onward and upward, guys. I'll see you real soon. Stay safe, guys. Don't do anything stupid. It's only going to get worse before this gets better. Whether you like Robert Kiyosaki or not, it was a good little warning this morning, okay? Be safe.